All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 State of the City. I'd like to officially open up this public meeting and ask if there's any public comment. Oh, Assemblymember Bonta, why don't you come up on here and present your public comment?
This is going to be the most prideful public comment I have ever had the opportunity to make. Good evening, I'm Assemblymember Mia Bonta, and I get to always say I represent the beautiful people of Alameda, Oakland, and Emeryville in Assembly District 18, which has been Alameda has been my home for nearly 27 years at this point. I want to thank, of course, the Chamber and Madeline and so many others for bringing us together to again celebrate this wonderful moment. And I am just fresh out of coming from the legislature in the Capitol because I wanted to offer a public comment for a very, very special state of the city, the final state of the city for our mayor of 8 years, our beautiful mayor of 8 years, Mayor Marilyn Izzy Ashcraft. Our mayor, Mayor Marilyn, is an icon in Alameda and across the Bay Area. In fact, she is that as well, who has made our island stronger, kinder, and more prepared for the future. Mayor Marilyn Izzy Ashcraft has worked with us to shape Alameda long before she ever became our mayor. She attended Edison Elementary School, Lincoln Middle School, and Alameda High School, a true daughter of Alameda. She served on the Planning Board and Economic Development Commission. She co-chaired the restoration campaign for our library system. She chaired the campaign to save Alameda Hospital back in 2002. And she served on the City Council from 2012 to 2018 and as Vice Mayor as well. She's represented us valiantly with great leadership and a progressive sensibility on the MTC, the ACTC, the ABAG, and the League of Cities. That woman has a lot of acronyms in her background. And she has led us to major milestones here in our city on clean energy, the Alameda Bike Trail, and on protecting our homes from sea level rise. Most importantly, she has stood up for those who needed us most. She has stood up for affordable housing, for tenant protections, and she has made sure that those who are unhoused, our neighbors, have been able to feel like Alameda was a safe place for them to be. She's ensured that we've had thriving communities on Bay Farm and the Naval Station from across this beautiful city that we get to enjoy. And she's met the challenges head on, whether they were COVID-19 pandemic or all of the others that have come since then. She has continued to ensure that we all know that Alameda is the beautiful island city that it has been. And she has made sure that Alameda has stayed strong because she is an amazing, strong, beautiful mayor and leader and person. So it is my great honor during this public comment to offer a resolution on behalf of the California's 18th Assembly District to our Mayor, Marilyn Izzy Ashcraft.
So is there any other public comment? Oh, seeing one more from Congresswoman Latifah Simon's office, Eden Chen.
I think we should start. Hi, May.
I will keep mine a little bit shorter. Thank you, Assembly Member, for those beautiful remarks. Thank you, Alameda Chamber. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you, Penumbra, for hosting us tonight. My name is Eden Chan, and I have the honor to serve as District Director for our glorious Congresswoman Latifah Simon, representing California's 12th Congressional District, which includes the beautiful city of Alameda. I personally, I think everybody in this room adores Mayor Ashcraft. Always just the epitome of grace and kindness and wisdom and pragmatism and progressivism and passion and fashion. And so I am so honored and so proud to be able to present the Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition from the office of our Congresswoman Latifah Simon in recognition of your profound leadership as the Mayor of Alameda. Thank you for 8 years of incredible service and untouchable dedication to your community. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Okay, wait, over here.
Oh.
All right, and with that, I'd like to close public comment. Thank you so much, and invite the chamber to come on up and. Oh, Shuruchi from. Oh, yes, for our national anthem. Thank you. Come on up.
Well, welcome everyone. Good evening. It's nice to have you all here on our Penumbra campus for the 2026 State of the City address hosted by the Alameda Chamber of Commerce. Adam, who many of you know, our CEO and founder, couldn't be here today. He's on the East Coast with his daughter, but he sends his regards. I'm Shruti Narayan. I'm the president here at Penumbra. I've been part of the company for 13 years and have loved seeing the city and this community blossom over this time. As many of you know, Penumbra is the largest manufacturer here in Alameda, and you may have seen the news about our acquisition by Boston Scientific, which is a great thing for the medical community as well as for patients. We, as part of all that, though, will continue to be a standalone division, continue to be based out of Alameda, and hopefully continue to work with all of you and see all of you over the course of the next few years. Before I turn it over to Madeline, I just have a couple of quick comments. I guess this Sunday is International Women's Day, so I do want to recognize and acknowledge all the wonderful women in Alameda here tonight at dinner. Thank you for your service and for strengthening our community. In addition to that, my 10-year-old told me that 2 days ago was National Anthem Day. So we actually have the pleasure of having Lauren DiFilippo, who's one of the members of the Penumbra team, also an Alameda resident. She also, in her free time, sings the national anthem for the Giants, the Oakland A's, when they were part of our over here in Oakland. So we thought it would be fitting to have her sing the national anthem as an important reminder of what this country really stands for. So with that, I would ask for all of you to please stand up and welcome Lauren DiFilippo, who will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
With that, I would like to introduce our fearless leader, Madeline, with the Alameda Chamber of Commerce, to come up here to kick off our wonderful event tonight.
How can I do that, right? Okay. Thank you, Sharuti, for this nice, warm welcome to us and hosting us here tonight, and for recognizing the International Women's Day, absolutely. And Lauren, I'm speechless. Your anthem is just touching everybody's heart, and it's really setting the stage for tonight's event. Thank you so much for doing this. Can we give her another round of applause, please? Okay, so now officially, welcome to the State of the City and the Mayor's Address. I'm so thrilled because I'm seeing a room full of leaders, community partners, innovative businesses, and a lot of people that really have a big passion for Alameda, deeply grateful for Alameda. Thank you so much for doing that. And I also would like to welcome our elected officials and dignitaries, but they will be recognized shortly with our mayor. With that said, I would like to thank our sponsors, and here they are. I can't memorize all of them, so I have to read them for you, okay? Yeah, it's all right. So thank you, of course, to Penumbra, to Ex-Alexis, Oakland Roots and Souls, City of Alameda, Port of Oakland, Alameda Municipal Power, McGuire and Hester, Power Engineering, Alameda Healthcare District, San Francisco Bay Ferry, Peralta Community College District and College of Alameda, Research Park Blue Rise Ventures, Puppy Bank, Kairos Power, State Farm Tim Kelly Lux, Paceline Investors, Merlongara South Shore Center, Anthro, Science, Storehouse Loft, Redium, Catellas and Brookfield Homes, Bay East Association of Realtors, and of course, I don't know if you noticed the drinks that are here. Almanac was generous to donate our beers tonight, which we're enjoying. Thank you so much, all of you. So our sponsors, your support is not just a logo on the screen here. It is really something beyond that. It is your support to our community. It is your strengthening the business community and making sure that we can follow that by making sure that we build an amazing Alameda with that. I cannot say much more than we're very grateful, deeply grateful for you for everything that you're doing for Alameda Chamber and the business community. With that said, it is my pleasure to invite our fearless leader, the board chair of Alameda, Brock Grunt of McGuire and Hester, to come forward. Brock will introduce our board of directors to come up front to the stage, and then he will introduce our mayor, who will officially induct the oath of our board of directors, this amazing group that we gathered here today. Brock, take it away. Thank you so much.
Let's set this at the same level that you had it, Madeline.
Well, I'm shorter than you.
I got a list here somewhere. I wish I could say I'd memorized. Everyone on our board? Oh, no, I've got it. Yeah. This is obviously super well rehearsed. Hopefully this is a sturdy stage, and hopefully there's actually still an audience when I get through with these names. So these are all the volunteer members of our board for the Alameda Chamber. And I'm going to call out names, and as I call out the name, just please come up on stage. I'm going to start with Diego Gonzalez, who's actually not here tonight. He couldn't make it, but next is David Mick, David Sayan, Marie Flores, Melanie Dixon, Seamus Murphy, Marlene Kwan, Bill Withrow, Elliot Glispie, Laura Billings, Michael Liberator, Kathleen Brennan, Cindy Acker, who actually couldn't make it tonight either, Jonathan Green, Dwayne Dahlman, Sarah Henry, Stephen Bader, Jonathan DeLong, and Alan Kubayama, sorry. So I think with that, the mayor's going to try to legitimize us. I'm not quite sure how that works, but we'll give it a shot.
Okay. Does this work?
Oops. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Wow, I'm going to have my back turned to someone, so apologies. First, I want to say to all of you volunteer board members, thank you so much. This is a great organization to be volunteering for. The economic vitality of our city is so important, and you all come from different sectors and will represent the chamber well. So with that, if you would raise your right hand, and this is easy, it's a one-word answer. Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter? And you can just say yes. Yes. Any dissents? Any abstentions? No. Hearing none, that motion, oh no, different meeting. All right. So with that, you can put your right hands down. And I am proud to introduce Brock Grunt, Board Chair, Diego Gonzalez, Board Vice Chair, David Mick, Board Treasurer, and Board Directors David Sayan, Marie Flores, Melanie Dixon, Seamus Murphy, Marlene Kwan, Bill Withrow, Elliot Gillespie, Laura Billings, Michael Liberatore, Kathleen Brennan, Cindy Acker, Jonathan Green, Dwayne Dahlman, Sarah Henry, Stephen Bader, Jonathan DeLong, and Alan Kubayama. Thank you all for your service. Thank you so much. It's great to see you. Right. Use the microphone.
I get that. Becca Parada, Joe Ernst, and Kelly Lux. Yeah, because we didn't have enough up here, so stage is still standing. So let's. And Mrs. Mayor, you do not get to leave yet either. No, because we have a ceremonial proclamation honoring you as well. You're going to need a forklift to get out of here tonight.
It wasn't in my notes.
Yeah, we're ad-libbing it.
Thank you. This is substantial. Oh. Thank you very much. That is lovely. Oh, thank you.
Can we get a photo? All
A
of us
photo,
together?
yes,
Okay.
like a selfie or.
Not a selfie.
Selfie would be great.
You should be in the back.
Tall people in the back. Okay. Is it, okay, look there, there's my, okay, just hold it, hold it, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well, yeah, you just stay right here. So while everyone's getting seated again, we get to the good part of the evening where we get to hear from our dear mayor. I don't really need to introduce much because the introductions that we heard from Mia Bonta and whatnot was more than I could even say. All I'm going to just from a personal standpoint, I've been a resident of Alameda for 32 years. I've seen a handful of mayors come and go. She has done a spectacular job. It's been real. And I can tell you, I've been to enough council meetings. That is a thankless job. So thank you for persevering and making the city better. You have left a mark. So
Thank you, Brock. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much. Aw. Thank you so much, Brock Grunt. By the way, an off script, this is one of the favorite parts of my job. I know I'm a little biased, but I do think I have the best residents, business people of any city in the Bay Area, probably in the state. And you're the best. So thank you so much. Let's see where I'm lost without my notes. I know I need to introduce dignitaries, of which there are many, and I think I have them all. Do I have them all, Sarah? Okay, I do. All right. Hello. So I want to thank you all for being here, and I'm going to move around. Wait, is that on? No, not on. Is this on? Ooh, that's on. All right. So we have joining us tonight, representing Congresswoman Latifah Simon's office, Eden Chan, who presented me with that lovely proclamation. You know what I think would be great, and we'll get out of here before midnight? I have a rule with city council meetings. You always want to start and end in the same day. So when I've finished, I'll tell you when I'm all done, and then we can applaud for everyone. So also from Congresswoman Simon's office, we have Helser Zavala. And then representing the office of California State Senator Jesse Araguian, we have Saul Harkins. Assembly Member Mia Bonta is here. And representing the office of California Attorney General Rob Bonta is Laura Maxey. Alameda County Assessor Fong Law. I want to also introduce Alameda County Supervisor Lena Tam, I think represented by Julie Yim from her office. BART Board Director Victor Flores. East Bay MUD Board Director Jim Odie. Peralta Community Colleges District Chancellor Tamil Gilkerson, and Peralta Board of Trustees member Bill Withrow. And also from the Alameda Health Systems Board of Director, we have the board president and and also Alameda Healthcare District Board member, same person, Health Systems Board of Trustees President, Alameda Healthcare District Board member David Sayan, East Bay Economic Development Alliance Executive Director Stephen Bader, Alameda Chamber Board President Brock Grunt, Alameda Chamber Executive Director Madeline Sadek, Downtown Alameda Business Association Director Kathy Weber, Alameda, and then from the Alameda City Council, we have Alameda Vice Mayor Michelle Pryor and Alameda City Council members Greg Bowler, Tony Daysog, and Tracy Jensen, Interim City Manager Adam Politzer, City Attorney Eben Shen, and Fire Chief Nick Luby, Police Chief Nishant Joshi, and department heads. I'm the mother of twins, so I've worked hard for many years to be equitable. So these are our department heads in alphabetical order of their departments. No favoritism. Alameda Municipal Power General Manager Tim Haynes, Base Reuse and Economic Development Director Abby Thorne-Lyman, Finance Director Ross McCarthy, Human Resources Director Noel White, IT Director Demetrius Kagampan, Planning, Building, and Transportation Director Alan Ty, Public Works Director Aaron Smith, Recreation Parks Director Justin Long, and Communications Director Sarah Henry. So there, those are the dignitaries. Now you can applaud. And we are going to move next to a short video that I have not actually seen, but I hear it's great. So when we're ready, let's cue the video. We're warming you up for the State of the City.
This is what you're waiting for. I think I'm ready to ride. I think I'm ready tonight. I think I'm ready tonight. This is what you're waiting for. I think I'm ready to ride.
That was great. Thank you to, I know, the folks, Maurice Ramirez and also Sean Daniels for putting that together. That was great. It's really nice to see your city from many perspectives. Well, thank you again to the Chamber, the Alameda Chamber and Economic Alliance for putting this event on, and for Penumbra, to Penumbra for welcoming us. Lauren, thank you for sharing your beautiful voice with us this evening. And let's do the State of the City. But before I do my State of the City address, I need to provide the following information required by Alameda's Sunshine Ordinance. City Clerk Laura Weisiger reports that in 2025, only one Sunshine Ordinance complaint was filed, but it was incomplete, so no hearing was scheduled. Period, full stop. That's the report I needed to make. And now on to my State of the City address. It has been the honor of a lifetime and an incredible privilege to serve as mayor of this wonderful, vibrant city for the past 8 years and on the city council for 6 years before that. This is the community where I grew up, returned to, and raised a family. I have gotten to know so many of our amazing residents, a lot of you are in the room this evening, and our business people, and work with a city staff that is second to none. It doesn't get any better than that. This past January, I attended the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting in a very chilly Washington, D.C. At one session, mayors were challenged to ask and answer 2 questions. The first one was, what decisions are you making today that will positively impact people's lives in the future? And when your mayoral term ends, how will your city be better because of what you did? So as I deliver my last State of the City address, I want to start with the first question. What decisions are you making today that will positively impact people's lives in the future? But let me quickly add that no one, including mayors, does anything by themselves. As mayor, I have just 1 vote, and as I like to say, with 1 vote, you can do absolutely nothing. So I want to take a moment to recognize the current Alameda City Council and thank them for being my collaborators, thought partners. We don't always agree, but thoughtful debate is essential to good governance. And we are all, no matter what perspective we come from, we are all working for the betterment of this community. So please recognize my colleagues, Vice Mayor Michelle Pryor, Council members Greg Bowler, Tony Dasog, and Tracy Jensen. Thank you, folks. My priorities as mayor have been and continue to be the health and well-being and health and safety of all who live, work, visit, and play in Alameda. Let's start with public safety, which encompasses making our streets safe for all, but especially the most vulnerable users: children, bicyclists, pedestrians, individuals with mobility issues, older adults. In 2025, Alameda's Planning, Building, and Transportation Director, Alan Ty, and Public Works Director Aaron Smith worked to deliver major transportation and safety improvements. You saw some of them on the screen. And they include the Central Avenue Safety Improvements Project, featuring Alameda's first roundabouts and protected 2-way cycle track, and to complete a protected 2-way cycle track on Grand Street from Shoreline Drive along the beach to Otis Drive that will eventually continue north on Grand Street all the way to Clement, and then it'll connect up with that new cycle track we've done on Clement. These new protected cycle tracks provide safe travel routes for hundreds of Alameda school children, because in Alameda, 40% of our students walk or ride their bikes to school every day, which supports good health and also our climate action goals by reducing automobile traffic and greenhouse gas emissions. These projects, as well as the improvements to the Cross Alameda Trail, are among the reasons that Alameda was recently named a gold-level bicycle-friendly community by the League of American Bicyclists, and this is a distinction held by only 32 other cities across the country. That's an applause line, right? So credit for this honor goes to our hardworking city staff, the City Council for approving bike-friendly policies and projects, and our residents who made their voices heard, guided by advocacy groups like Bike Walk Alameda and CASA. 2025 also saw construction of our first neighborhood greenway on Pacific Avenue, where those sometimes controversial slow street barricades were replaced with traffic circles and speed humps to slow traffic. This is how we make our streets safe for all users. Our other unofficial traffic calming devices are those roving bands of wild turkeys you may have encountered, but they are harder to regulate. Our residents and businesses all want and deserve to feel safe. So I want to share some of the progress we are making along those lines. Alameda Police Chief Nishant Joshi proudly reports that 2025 marked the second of 2 consecutive years of double-digit crime reduction across all categories of crime. That is impressive. And I know, how I know that is happening is by the volume of emails I'm not getting, because trust me, I hear from residents, you are my eyes and ears around the city. But some of those specific statistics include a 45% reduction in vehicle thefts, a 15% reduction in larceny theft, 14% reduction in vandalism, and 11% reduction in burglaries. And this trend is continuing in 2026. Traffic enforcement, with an emphasis on dangerous driving, also increased in 2025 by 91%, nearly doubling last year's statistics. And this is another way we make our streets safe for all users, because speed kills, and we need to have law enforcement out there to catch speeders when they can. Chief Joshi also assigned police officers to our business districts, where they provide coverage 7 days a week during peak hours, and their presence has significantly decreased response times to calls for service from local businesses and contributed to an increase in arrests and referrals for prosecution, because we are working to provide a safe environment for local businesses and their customers. The Alameda Fire Department, under the leadership of Chief Nick Luby, will celebrate its 150th anniversary of service to the city on August 29, 2026. I think, happy birthday, right? But Chief Luby, I think we may need the fire marshal to approve all the candles for that cake. In 2025, AFD officially placed Fireboat Neptune into service after a year of training and preparation. This vessel, with the capability to pump more than 4,000 gallons per minute, will serve Alameda and our regional partners along the estuary and bay waters for years to come. Phase 1 of the city's emergency water supply system was also placed into service, allowing Neptune to provide a sustained firefighting water supply in the event of a catastrophic failure of our municipal water system, significantly enhancing the city's marine firefighting capability, disaster resilience, and overall community safety. In 2026, the fire department will embark on a long overdue comprehensive strategic plan to chart its course for the next 5 to 10 years, including evaluation of the department's mission and long-term goals to ensure alignment with evolving community needs. Also in 2026, the Firefighter Memorial is anticipated to be completed at Fire Station 3 on Buena Vista Avenue. It will honor AFD members who made the ultimate sacrifice and service to our community and ensure their legacy is never forgotten. And finally, the CARE team completed its 4th year of service, responding to over 1,100 calls that resulted in 767 direct engagements with clients, and this innovative mental health crisis response model is built on a strong partnership with Alameda Family Services and other key stakeholders throughout the East Bay. It continues to refine and strengthen its service delivery approach while helping set the standard for fire department-based mental health services in the state of California. And the City Attorney's Office, led by City Attorney Eben Shen, also contributes to community safety and housing security. The Public Prosecution Unit, headed by Chief Assistant City Attorney Julia Gonzalez, recently launched the Victim Services Program with funding from a state crisis intervention program grant. This program assists crime victims and witnesses by providing case management and support services through the often lengthy criminal justice process. In 2025, the Public Rights Team, co-led by Rent Program Director Bill Chapin and Special Counsel Adam Rudinsky, helped Alameda residents avoid becoming victims by responding to over 1,100 public inquiries regarding consumer protection, housing rights, and fair labor standards. Last year, the Rent Program, another division of the City Attorney's Office, secured full rent control protection for 150 residential units at Admiral's Cove after prevailing in a landmark California Court of Appeals case. The Rent Program also identified more than $500,000 in invalid rent payments that have now been refunded to the tenants who were overcharged. And I can't overstate the importance of that kind of work, because in the Bay Area, where housing costs are so expensive, many people are significantly rent burdened, paying even more than 50% of their incomes to their housing costs. If they are being overcharged, those are dollars that aren't going to health care, to paying utility bills, to buying school supplies for their kids. So this is how we're protecting renters in Alameda. Another important, yeah, you can give them a round of applause. Another important function of the Rent Program is educating landlords and tenants about their respective rights and obligations. In 2025, Rent Program staff conducted 22 public workshops, responded to more than 9,000 inquiries from the public, and completed 47 mediations that reduced unnecessary conflict and litigation between landlords and tenants. And I can tell you, I was working a little bit late last night at City Hall, and when I left, the Rent Program was conducting a program for landlords about some new housing laws. And this is just how you make the whole housing program in the city work better, when people understand their rights and obligations. Also, the Rent Program and Public Rights Team will soon receive $150,000 in grant funding from the California Strategic Growth Council to support anti-displacement services that keep people housed, another function of the City Attorney's Office, because one of the ways that we address homelessness is by preventing it from happening in the first place. And so these are the kinds of programs we have put in place. Finally, the Alameda City Attorney's Office received the American Bar Association's 2025 Hodson Award, and this prestigious award is made to only one government or public sector law office in the nation each year. And I quote from the award language: for specific and extraordinary service by a government or public sector office. And in this case, the Alameda City Attorney's Office was recognized for acting with urgency and resolve to protect 50 families living in the Barnhill Marina. They live on houseboats and floating homes, to protect them from imminent housing displacement after a new landlord sought to increase rents by as much as, and this isn't a typo, 178%. About 50% of the tenants were over the age of 65, and many were low-income or fixed-income households without the means to absorb such a steep rent increase. But in November 2024, the Alameda County Superior Court ruled fully in favor of the city, imposing over $335,000 in penalty against the marina owners and issuing a permanent injunction to prevent further harassment of the tenants. So please join me. Yes, please join me in congratulating City Attorney Eben Shen and the City and Alameda City Attorney's Office. Eben and anyone from your office, I see you at the table there. Please stand so we can acknowledge you. The work the City Attorney's Office is doing to keep Alameda residents housed supports my priority of protecting the health and safety of all residents. And the city's Housing and Human Services Division, under the direction of Assistant City Manager Amy Wooldridge, also supports this objective with its in-house engagement team that connects unhoused individuals with service providers and works to prevent vulnerable individuals from becoming homeless. This fall, the city will open a newly renovated and expanded day center, and safe parking facility to provide critical first-line services for people who are unhoused, including overnight emergency shelter, meals, showers, laundry, and supportive services. The city also continues to provide funding to local churches who operate a seasonal warming shelter this year from December of 2025 to the end of April in 2026. In addition to a safe place to sleep overnight in new sleeping bags donated by REI, the warming shelter guests are served a hot dinner and breakfast the next morning. There is also a shower facility, ability to do laundry, and this year, a case manager funded by the city to connect guests with needed services and help them find permanent housing. So huge thanks to the members and clergy of Christ Episcopal Church for their generosity, and to the many community volunteers who assist with the warming shelter, including a local Girl Scout troop that designed an online sign-up form to volunteer or provide meals. As you can see, there is a strong volunteer spirit in Alameda. I am proud that Alameda is doing its part to address the state's housing crisis. In January 2025, as a result of the policies the Alameda City Council approved to increase housing production and reduce barriers to housing construction, including streamlined permitting, the city of Alameda was designated a pro-housing city by the California Department of Housing and Community Development, or HCD. This designation provides more than bragging rights. It offers Alameda exclusive access to certain grants and additional points for competitive housing, community development, and infrastructure funding. Infrastructure funding opportunities offered by HCD, and we have already received a $1 million grant as a result of this award, this designation. Currently, and anyone who's in the construction field out here knows, we are in a slow housing market due to interest rates, market uncertainty, and other economic factors which resulted in a relatively low number of building permits issued in 2025. According to Planning, Building, and Transportation Director Alan Ty, out there in the audience, last year the city issued building permits for only 65 housing units, and 52 of those were ADUs, or accessory dwelling units. Nonetheless, these ADUs, which are smaller homes and often built, as infill housing on other property, help us fill the need for housing that is affordable by design, and further demonstrating our commitment to housing all Alamedans and living up to our pro-housing city designation. Also importantly, over the last few months, we have sold a dozen below-market rate homes through a streamlined lottery process, which provides people with lower incomes the opportunity to build equity through home ownership. I spoke earlier about safety improvements we are making to local streets, but because we are an island, water transit continues to be a popular commute option. WETA, and I know we have representatives, the Water Emergency Transportation Authority, reports that approximately 1 million ferry riders traveled to and from Alameda ferry terminals in 2025. And when you think about that number, think about the cars that weren't on the road because those 1 million trips were being taken by ferry instead. And I will say, as a pretty regular ferry commuter, they're also the happiest commuters you will ever find. Woodstock, you may have ridden Woodstock, that cute little yellow water shuttle, yeah? Woodstock's got a fan base. So that little yellow water shuttle travels to and from West Alameda and Oakland's Jack London Square. Last year, it carried over 125,000 riders, and it only carries like 32 passengers at a time, including with bikes, strollers, and wheelchairs. In early 2027, Woodstock's schedule will expand to help people travel on and off the island when construction work begins on the Posey Tube for the Oakland Alameda Access Project. I know my vice mayor is a school teacher, and I don't know how school teachers talk as long as they do all day. Maybe you drink tea all day, Michelle. The intermittent partial closure of the tubes, as well as the popularity of the ferry and Woodstock's estuary crossings, highlight the need for a bicycle pedestrian bridge across the estuary and engineered to accommodate emergency vehicles to expand access to and from West Alameda. Last year, staff completed the project initiation document and are now working on the waterways study that will be completed by June 2027 and followed by preparation of environmental documents, and then we'll work on closing that funding gap. As I highlight the health and safety of our residents, businesses, and visitors, I want to emphasize that all of our city departments contribute to keeping our community clean, safe, and healthy. For example, over the past year, the Public Works Department updated the sewer system management plan to ensure long-term system reliability and protection of public safety and public and environmental health. And that might sound kind of mundane and not too sexy, but I think about Washington, D.C. When I was back there for the mayor's conference. They were experiencing a sewer leak into the Potomac and just struggling to contain that. So we are being proactive. Thank you, Public Works Director Aaron Smith, for all your good work. And Public Works Director Aaron Smith and city staff are also acutely aware of the need to prepare Alameda's aging infrastructure for flooding, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. To that end, Alameda voters may consider a bond measure this November to help fund unmet infrastructure needs. You saw some pretty dramatic footage in the video that was shown. That wasn't AI generated. That was this past winter. So, of course, parks are also essential to community well-being, and Alameda is well-resourced with parks and recreational opportunities. Alameda Recreation and Parks Director Justin Long proudly notes the anticipated completion of Estuary Park on the West End in late 2026, where 5 acres of vacant land are being transformed into a vibrant new public space to gather, play, and connect with an inclusive playground, pickleball and basketball courts, a dog park, picnic areas, and EV chargers. When our new aquatic center, a long-awaited investment, opens in late 2027, it will provide modern, inclusive facilities for swimmers of all ages and abilities. Libraries also support community well-being as well as literacy, lifelong education, and so much more. Alameda Library Director Michael Eitner reports that there were more than 216,000 visits to the library in the last fiscal year, and almost 760 items were checked out. Across Alameda's 3 library locations, there is now a story time every day of the week for children, parents, and caregivers to enjoy, including story hours in Spanish and Mandarin. In the coming months, the library, yeah, that's pretty awesome, I think. In the coming months, the library will launch a more user-friendly event calendar and online reservations for study rooms at the main library. Library services in Alameda have also expanded to meet community needs. In December 2025, we initiated a 12-month pilot program with a clinical social worker from Alameda Family Services who provides 30 hours of on-site support to library patrons at the main library, including informal mental health support and referrals to case managers, housing, social services, non-emergency medical care, immigration support, and domestic violence prevention programs. And the Base Reuse and Economic Development, or BRED department, under the direction of Abby Thorne-Lyman, reports that the city has entitled 2,094 new homes to eventually be built at Alameda Point. And last year, developers Catellus and Brookfield received the California Affordable Housing and Sustainable Community Program's top-ranked award for the Reshape Neighborhood project, which is providing new homes and amenities for formerly homeless families, veterans, and domestic violence survivors. BRED also supports businesses of all sizes, including by funding the Small Business Development Center that advised nearly 200 businesses in one-on-one sessions last year, and also by expanding its facade improvement grant program to include crime prevention through environmental design improvements, or CEPTED. BRED is helping increase the safety and security of our local businesses. This department also oversaw implementation of the 2-year Rise Up Alameda pilot program that provided 150 low-income Alamedans with a guaranteed minimum income of $1,000 per month. The program, which ended last December, resulted in demonstrated improvements to participants' social, emotional, and financial well-being. And these findings provide an important contribution to the growing body of evidence demonstrating the benefits of unencumbered minimum income. Our city's economic condition is also healthy, according to Finance Director Ross McCarthy, who proudly reports strong fund reserves that reflect careful stewardship and responsible financial planning. However, Director McCarthy cautions that we must be clear-eyed about forecasted structural budget deficits projected over the next few years. This will require disciplined decision-making and long-term solutions as we focus our resources on delivering high-quality core city services, public safety, infrastructure, and community programs while safeguarding our financial stability for the future. You know, it's one of the things that's challenging as an elected official, and I think my colleagues would agree. You want to say yes to everything, and there's so many good causes and requests that come before us. But we don't have to look too far down the road to other cities who are staring at these huge budget deficits, looking at layoffs, looking at ending programs. We are not that city. We have been very careful in our spending, and we will continue to be. So to address the anticipated structural deficit, the city has begun examining its outlays for services to seek savings opportunities. For example, this year the city switched bank accounts to reduce banking costs as well as grow the city's revenues through passive, safe investments. And the finance department is also conducting an analysis of its internal service providers, such as IT and insurance, to determine if the cost of these services could be covered by other funding sources rather than the city's general fund. Additionally, the most recent fee study revealed that expenses of certain city services had outpaced their fee rates, and this is never popular, but departments will slowly correct these rates to align with actual costs to the city. Our IT, or Information Technology Department, led by Director Demetrius Kagampan, is modernizing city operations and strengthening our network infrastructure to ensure secure, reliable, and uninterrupted services for our community while advancing innovation through a responsible AI pilot program and reinforcing our cybersecurity defenses to protect city systems and sensitive information. Alameda is fortunate to own its electric utility, Alameda Municipal Power, or AMP, and under the leadership of General Manager Tim Haynes, AMP continues to provide reliable, locally controlled electric service while maintaining some of the lowest rates in the Bay Area. Over the past year, AMP advanced grid reliability and wildfire risk reduction efforts, supported electrification initiatives, and expanded customer programs that help residents and businesses transition to cleaner energy. Moving forward, AMP will continue investing in infrastructure, resiliency, and technology to support Alameda's growing community and climate goals. The guardian of those climate goals is Sustainability and Resilience Manager Danielle Mealer, who says 2025 was a positive and productive year for climate action in Alameda. We are on track, and this is according to Danielle, she knows these things, we are on track to meet our goal of reducing emissions 50% below 2005 levels by 2030. Impressively, community-wide emissions have dropped 29% already since 2005, even as the city's population and number of jobs have grown. Yeah, you can applaud. Anytime you applaud, I get to sip my tea. The city made other meaningful thank you, folks. The city made other meaningful, measurable progress toward its climate goals by updating the Climate Action and Resiliency Plan, continuing the Alameda Youth Climate Ambassadors Program with high school environmental clubs. And you know, it is the youth. Our youth are the future. The decisions we're making now impact them, but they're stepping up to the plate every day. We are also expanding access to public electric vehicle charging, including the city's first ever curbside EV chargers, growing the urban forest. You saw some great photos with volunteer tree plantings, and moving important sea level rise planning and resilience projects forward despite reductions in federal funding. Alameda also received several well-deserved leadership awards for its climate efforts, including the Institute of Local Government's Beacon Platinum Award for achieving 29% reduction in community-wide greenhouse gas emissions, and its Leadership and Innovation Award for cross-agency collaboration in climate adaptation for our work with the Oakland Alameda Adaptation Committee, or OAK, a coalition of local, regional, state, and federal stakeholders, community-based organizations, all working together collaboratively to address sea level rise adaptation and promote community resilience. Because we know that climate change, sea level rise, does not know jurisdictional boundaries. The water is going to cross the city limits, county lines. And I want to share, too, that in 2025, Danielle Mealer was recognized with the Hidden Hero of the Greenbelt Award by the Greenbelt Alliance for her leadership and vision in creating the Oakland Alameda Adaptation Commission. This consortium of more than 30 stakeholders was the brainchild of Danielle Mealer. Let's give her a hand. As you can see, Alameda is leading the way to creating a cleaner, safer, healthier city and region. So these are the decisions that I help lead that I believe will positively impact people's lives in the future. But all is not rosy. The city faces some significant challenges, including the current political landscape. As I drafted this address, the United States had launched attacks on Iran, triggering repercussions across the wider Middle East. The federal government is partially shut down. Our Coast Guard partners sent their regrets they couldn't attend tonight's event because of the shutdown. But the DHS is unfunded, so the government is partially shut down over Congress's inability to agree on appropriate guidelines and restrictions for federal agents conducting immigration enforcement after 2 American citizens in Minneapolis were killed by unidentified masked federal agents. So how should our cities our city respond. I believe that the path forward to counter abusive government power lies with the courts. And to that end, the city attorney's office and I have signed on to a number of amicus briefs supporting the rights of states and local governments, including Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, and Minneapolis, to govern without being subjected to militarization of their streets or being required to support federal civil immigration enforcement. The city has also joined other local jurisdictions in litigating against the federal government to protect local funding from unconstitutional conditions such as requiring use of local resources to support federal civil immigration enforcement. And I hasten to add that I like to say we are an equal opportunity provider when it comes to criminal activity. I don't care who you are, what your immigration status is. If you commit a crime in our city limits, the Alameda Police Department will be on it. And given their track record, and especially lately, you will be caught. But civil immigration enforcement is something entirely different. We also face uncertainty around the Veterans Administration Clinic and Columbarium planned for Alameda Point. Despite federal funds having been allocated for this project in the previous administration, those plans were halted without notice or explanation to the city. Our federal lobbyists and federal representatives in Washington, D.C., and veterans organizations and the mayor continue to express opposition and seek to restore funding for this vital project. But there are also reasons to celebrate. The process of hiring a new city manager is underway and going well. And we want to thank our interim city manager, Adam Politzer, for his his service during this time of transition. And last but not least, you saw a little clip on the video, the Aussies are coming. We are so excited that the Australian men's national soccer, they actually call it football, team, the Australia Socceroos chose the Oakland Roots and Soul training facility right here at Harbor Bay Business Park to be, so exciting. To be their team base camp for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup this June and July. I got to meet with some of their representatives, I think last week, and they did tell us we were their number one choice because unlike team base camps, most other team base camps across the country, the Roots facility is a dedicated soccer facility. It's not a college athletic or a high school athletic facility. It is dedicated, and the Roots are a great partner. So the city is working with our business community and to ensure Alameda is ready to make the Football Australia delegation and its tens of thousands of visiting fans, some of whom will be staying in our hotels and generating transient occupancy tax. We want to make them feel right at home as they spend money locally. And this will involve not just our restaurants and shopping districts, but also relationship building events for Alameda and Australia's tech and advanced manufacturing businesses. We can't wait to welcome the Aussies, and I can tell you from that visit recently that they are so much fun. So now to answer the second question, when your mayoral term ends, how will your city be better because of what you did? So here are some of the things I'm most proud of, and again, in alphabetical order, because you can't play favorites. Alameda Food Bank's new forever home. Executive Director Teal Harden is out there. She's a local hero. This is how we are addressing food insecurity, and you've got an amazing board, Teal. The Alameda Point Collaborative in the reshaped neighborhood that is housing formerly unhoused families, veterans, domestic violence survivors. Attitudes. And when I talk about attitudes, good applause line. Over the course of my 8 years, almost 8 years as mayor, I have seen a sea change in attitudes about homelessness. When I first became mayor, I can't even tell you some of the things people said, but to paraphrase, can't you just send them to Oakland? I don't want to see this in my neighborhood. Make it go away. Over the course of time, and I think with a lot of community education and talking and understanding just how fragile so many people are in today's housing market that, they're, but for the grace of God, go you or I. I have seen shifting attitudes of our community, our residents, our businesses, our nonprofits who've shown an incredible capacity for compassion. And that goes all the way down to the youth, to the Girl Scout and Brownie and Cub Scout troops that do things and put together packets. Communication, the care team comes next. The care team, the fire department has worked with our mental health providers to put together this very effective but evolving response to mental health, substance abuse, unsheltered individuals, to help connect them to services when we don't need a public safety response. And communication, I say this often, you can't over-communicate, and it is our responsibility as a city to communicate to our residents in so many different ways. It's challenging. Y'all get your information in so many different venues. Coming next is Dignity Village. This is 65 units of supportive transitional housing for unsheltered adults, and it was built in just 9 months during COVID using American Rescue Plan or ARPA funds and some funding from the city's general fund. We are seeing cohorts of individuals spend time living there, availing themselves of the services that Dignity Village provides, and moving on to permanent housing so that others can come through. And then I'm also proud of the Feed Alameda program that during the pandemic and with some funding from the city and some grant funding, helped local restaurants stay in business during the pandemic by providing nourishing meals for our unsheltered residents. So at a time when restaurants were not getting many customers, they could have a guarantee of please prepare 120 meals to go around to the different locations. And we learned that people soon learned which day of the week the restaurant meals were being provided, and then they had to provide more because the lines were just longer. And also the mayors, I will just stop and say that we sometimes see the face of mental health distress up close and personal, and this is one of them. And so we'll just take a minute, we'll just take a moment to wait. But this, anyway, we'll just take a moment. It's actually something that the city council is familiar with. We often have individuals come. I mean, the city council chambers are a place where anyone can come and speak their mind. And it is also impressive that we are providing services to those who are ready to take them. And people come at all stages, and we respect that. And so then, moving down my list, the mayor's COVID-19 vaccine task force that I implemented in 2020 during the pandemic to facilitate vaccine clinics, community education, and also the mayor's town halls that we did on Fridays at noon to keep our community informed, because again, you can't over-communicate. Moving down the list, McKay Avenue and the Wellness Campus. You saw some wonderful photographs. I haven't even been there a while to see the program, the progress, but when it's completed, this will provide 100 units of assisted living for frail, elderly, homeless individuals who currently make up the largest growing cohort of the homeless population, people who first experienced homelessness after the age of 50. So this facility will provide care for 100 individuals, as well as a medical clinic and respite care. And then next, I have residents taking responsibility, by which I mean showing their understanding of their role in mitigating climate change. It's not someone else's problem, it's all of ours. And we see that by residents embracing alternative means of travel. You've seen those parents shuttling their kids around in those carts they either push or pull on their bikes. They ride bikes, take AC Transit, the ferry, they walk, ride scooters, and the Alameda Warming Shelter. And that's my alphabetical list of what I'm proud of having done. Thank you. In closing, I want to observe that we do not know what's around the next corner and maybe that's a good thing. But we do know that we have the capacity to meet any moment and the resiliency to rise to any occasion if we stay focused and engaged and do what we can from where we are with whatever resources we can muster. And Alameda, you have shown yourself to be more than equal to the challenge, and it has been my immense pleasure to serve as your mayor these past 8 years. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. It's like a seventh inning stretch. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm just going to thank you for what you have done for the last 8 years and the 6 years prior to that. And actually, you were involved with the community quite a bit even before that. So thank you for putting your life into Alameda. Much appreciated.
Thank you.